A deep silence filled the outer edge of Vurex Empire space as the patrol ship Vurex 17 moved through the dark. Its crew expected another boring cycle, but on this day, something strange waited for them in the void. The first one to see it was Sensor Officer Rallen. He frowned at the glowing blue screen in front of him. A metallic shape floated ahead, large and dark, with no engine heat, no active lights, no signals. It looked dead, like a drifting corpse of a forgotten war. Rallen blinked twice, thinking the system was broken, and ran the scan again. The same result came back. Captain Tyrax walked over, tail stiff from annoyance. "What is this object?" he asked. Rallen swallowed. "It's a warship, sir. But I cannot detect its origin. No Empire mark. No known design." The crew stared at the lifeless structure. It was long, sharp, and heavy, built like a blade meant to cut through stars. Yet it did not move. Tyrax ordered a deep scan. "If it is a trap from the Zeroth rebels, we destroy it." Rallen activated the scan. The moment the beam touched the unknown ship, the entire patrol ship went dark. Lights off. Engines silent. Screens dead. 3 seconds of complete darkness. In those 3 seconds, every crew member heard a deep voice inside their comm units. Not loud. Not angry. Just a cold whisper echoing in their minds. "Human warship Aegis, observing." When the systems came back online, the crew froze in terror. They had never heard the word human before. No species with that name existed in any galactic record. Tyrax felt a chill crawl down his spine. "Did everyone hear that?" he asked. Every crew member nodded with wide eyes. Rallen whispered. "Sir, the ship spoke without powering on. It spoke, with our systems disabled." Before Tyrax could speak, the dark warship lit up. Not bright. Not dramatic. Just a slow awakening, like a giant opening its eyes. Pale blue lines glowed along its hull. A massive cannon rotated toward Vurex 17, not to fire, but simply to look at them. The ship was not dead. It was watching. "What kind of warship does this?" Tyrax whispered. None of them had the answer. The warship scanned them again, but this time it did not shut their systems down. Instead, the alien patrol crew felt pressure in their chests, as if gravity itself pressed on them. Their ship shook, but no weapon hit them. Nothing attacked them. The human ship was testing them. Suddenly, a small data burst appeared on the patrol ship's screen. Vurex symbols rearranged themselves into a single message. "Do not fear. We are observing your reaction." Tyrax's claws trembled. Observing? For what? The crew had no idea, but their fear grew. If this ship was simply observing, then what could it do when it wanted to attack? Before they could analyze anything, the human warship shut its lights off again. This time, it still stayed active, still aiming its massive cannon at them, but its hull returned to silent darkness. A ghost in space. Then the scanners beeped. Rallen looked at the data, and his heartbeat skipped. "Captain, I detect movement. Many ships. They are coming from our empire." The Vurex Empire had detected the unknown vessel too. Within minutes, 5 more Vurex warships arrived. They formed a circle around the human ship, weapons ready. They were confident. They were sure of their strength. Tyrax watched the screen and knew they were wrong. When the new commander, Admiral Sol Rex, opened communication, his voice boomed with arrogance. "Unknown vessel, you are inside Vurex space. Identify yourself, or be destroyed." The human ship did not reply. Instead, it powered on fully. The dark hull brightened. Engine lines glowed. Shields formed like ripples on water. The Aegis warship awakened completely, and for the first time, the aliens saw its true scale. It was bigger than all their ships. Heavier. Built from materials their sensors could not identify. Admiral Sol Rex shouted again. "Identify yourself." Finally, a voice answered. Controlled. Human. Designation, Aegis, 01. Origin, Earth. Purpose, observation. Do not interfere. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Earth. Observation. These words meant nothing to them. Solrex raised his hand. Fire a warning shot. Tyrax panicked. No. Do not provoke. But the shot fired. A bright beam of energy flew toward Aegis. Before it even touched the human ship, it disappeared. Not blocked. Not reflected. Erased. The aliens gasped. Aegis spoke again. First warning. The human ship released a wave of energy, instantly disabling every alien weapon system. Screens flickered. Shields collapsed. Engines died. All 6 alien ships floated helplessly. Aegis did not fire back. It simply watched them, the same way a scientist watches insects inside a glass box. Tyrax felt his throat tighten. This was not a normal enemy. Not a lost ship. Not a simple new species. This was something else. Something powerful. Something ancient. Something that could destroy them with a thought, and yet chose not to. Aegis turned slightly, as if bored. And the alien crews felt a terrible truth. Humans were not here to attack. They were here to see what the aliens would do next. The Vurex Empire was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The alien ships floated silently around the human warship. Their crews still shivered from the first encounter. No one moved. No one spoke. They were trapped in fear they had never felt before. Admiral Solrex's voice finally broke the silence. I want every sensor reading. Analyze it. Now. Rallen's hands shook as he tried to follow orders. The human ship was unlike anything in their records. Its hull reflected no scans. Its weapons could erase energy beams before impact. And its size. Nothing in the Empire had a ship this large and heavy. One by one, the alien sensors failed. Engines stuttered. Screens flickered. The panic grew. Sir, the ship is interfering with our systems again, Rallen said. Impossible. Solrex barked. It cannot. The warship moved. Slowly, deliberately. Not toward them, not away, just shifting in space like a predator circling its prey. Its massive cannon rotated, following the movements of each alien ship. The aliens felt every motion, every small adjustment, as though the ship could see their fear. Captain Tyrax whispered to himself, It's learning us. The humans did not speak again. Instead, a silent wave pulsed from the ship, invisible to the eyes, but felt in the bones. Every alien crew member's heart pounded. They had no idea what it was doing, but instinct screamed that it was testing them. Rallen tried to send a warning. Admiral, maybe we should retreat. We don't know what it can do. Solrex shook his head. Retreat? And let it think the Vurex Empire is weak? Never. The human ship tilted slightly, as if responding to the challenge. Then, without warning, one of the alien ship's engines failed. Its crew scrambled, trying to regain control, but the Aegis did not fire. It simply held power over them. This is not war, Rallen muttered. It's a lesson. The other ships looked at each other, unease spreading like fire. They had weapons, fleets, and centuries of Empire strength. But the human ship had none of their fear. None of their hesitation. And somehow, it controlled the situation entirely. Then, a small holographic message appeared on the alien main screen. Clear, simple, in the universal galactic language. We do not seek war. But we will defend ourselves. Any attack will be stopped. Any threat neutralized. The aliens froze. Every warship in the perimeter shuddered. The calm voice made it clear that the humans were in control. And yet, they had not destroyed a single ship. Tyrax's claws clenched around the railing. Why don't they attack? Rallen answered quietly, because they are stronger. They do not need to. They only need to show us we are nothing in comparison. The human warship adjusted again, sliding between the alien ships like a shadow weaving through sunlight. The aliens tried to keep pace, but no matter what they did, the Aegis moved faster, predicted their maneuvers, and stayed out of reach. Admiral Solrex gritted his teeth. They are mocking us. How can one ship, one human ship, control 6 of our warships? Aegis tilted its massive hull as if nodding to the question, though the aliens could not see it clearly. Then, with slow precision, it released a pulse. The pulse did not destroy. It did not injure. But it caused every alien weapon to freeze, locks disengaged, beams went dark, missiles spun uselessly in space. The human ship had not fired a single shot and yet had rendered 6 warships helpless. Tyrax could barely speak. They are perfect. Rallen nodded. And they are watching us. Learning. The aliens did not know it yet, but in that moment, the balance of power in the galaxy shifted. Humans were no longer just another species. They were a force beyond imagination. A force that could not be predicted, controlled, or beaten. The Aegis slowly pulled back, but not out of fear. It simply rotated slightly, as if to give the aliens space to breathe. Its silent presence said more than any weapon could. Humans had arrived, and they were not here to play by anyone's rules. The alien fleets were left floating in confusion, fear, and awe. Every commander, every pilot, every officer knew one truth: this encounter would change everything. And somewhere, deep inside the human warship, Captain Rhea Morgan simply observed. Calm, steady, and ready for whatever came next. The humans were patient. But the galaxy would learn soon enough that patience could be as deadly as war. The alien fleet floated in tense silence, still reeling from the first 2 encounters. Every ship's crew tried to understand what they had faced, but nothing made sense. One human ship, just one, had controlled 6 warships as if they were toys. And they had done it without a single shot fired. Captain Tyrax sat in his command chair, claws gripping the edges. We cannot let this continue, he said. His voice trembled, but he tried to sound strong. We are the Vurex Empire. We do not bow to unknown species. Prepare the fleet. Attack formation Gamma. Rallen's fingers shook as he typed commands. Sir, the human ship, it can stop any attack. We have seen it. Solrex, standing behind Tyrax, slammed his clawed hand on the console. Then we attack smarter. Fire at once. Surround it. Leave no escape. The alien warships powered their weapons, energy beams and missiles ready. The tension was almost unbearable. Every crew member knew what was coming. They were about to provoke the humans. And the humans were ready. The Aegis shifted slightly, rotating so its massive hull reflected the light of distant stars. Its cannon tracked the alien ships, but it did not fire. Instead, a calm voice echoed through every alien ship's comm system. This is your first and only warning. Leave this space, or face consequences you cannot imagine. The aliens froze. Consequences we cannot imagine? Tyrax whispered. What does that even mean? Before anyone could respond, the first alien missile shot toward Aegis. Time seemed to slow. Every eye on the alien ships widened in disbelief. The missile reached the human ship and vanished, completely erased. No explosion. No shockwave. Just nothing. Rallen stared at the screens. It just removed it. Admiral Solrex roared. Fire everything. Destroy that. Before the word left his mouth, Aegis released a silent pulse. This pulse did not explode. It did not fire weapons. It simply touched each alien ship. Instantly, engines slowed. Weapons jammed. Shields flickered and fell. Every warship became a motionless target in the blackness of space. The aliens could do nothing. Their technology, their experience, their empire power, useless. Then the voice came again, calm, firm, human. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness. This is your only warning. Any attack will be stopped immediately. Tyrax's stomach turned. Fear clawed at him. The humans had control, absolute control, and yet they had not destroyed a single ship. Not one. Rallen looked at the captain. They are testing us. Watching how we react. Learning. Every move we make, they know. Tyrax could not deny it. They were being studied like small animals in a cage. But unlike animals, there was no escape plan, no clever trick that could defeat Aegis. Admiral Solrex growled. This is impossible. One ship, one human ship, is more powerful than our entire fleet combined. How can this be? Rallen shook his head. We have underestimated humans, sir. We know nothing about them. Suddenly, another alien ship tried to flee, engines blazing. Aegis moved smoothly in space, faster than any alien could follow, and gently nudged the ship aside, not destroying it, just guiding it back. The humans were precise, controlled, and terrifying. The remaining alien ships hesitated. They realized something terrifying. Humans did not need to fight to win. They only needed to act. Aegis's cannon rotated again, following the alien ships. Then the voice spoke, calm and firm. You are not ready to fight humans. Leave this space and never return. You may live today to learn the truth. For the first time in their lives, the Vurex crews felt true fear. They had faced countless enemies, battled unknown species, conquered planets, but never anything like this. Never a species that could control them without destroying a single ship. Tyrax finally lowered his claws. We leave. Rallen nodded. We have no choice. Not yet. We cannot fight them. The alien fleet slowly backed away, engines silent except for the hum of retreat. Aegis did not chase them. It simply watched, waiting, observing, teaching its lesson. Captain Rhea Morgan, seated in the command room of the Aegis, leaned back in her chair. Calm, steady, unshaken. The humans had made no move to attack, but they had demonstrated one undeniable truth. Anyone who challenged them would pay a price, whether they understood it yet or not. The alien fleet disappeared into the distance, terrified, humbled, and changed forever. Across the galaxy, news of the encounter would spread. The story of a single human warship, commanding power beyond imagination, would reach every corner of space. And the humans were only beginning to make their mark. In the silent darkness of space, the Aegis drifted, waiting, watching, learning. The galaxy had met humanity, and it would never be the same again. News of the encounter spread faster than any Vurex ship could fly. Across the Empire, from the capital worlds to the border colonies, whispers of a single human warship spread like wildfire. Every command center, every research station, every fleet outpost wanted answers. The Vurex Empire had fought countless wars, conquered dozens of species, and expanded across galaxies. They believed themselves invincible. But now, one ship had humiliated 6 of their best warships without firing a single shot. The fear was real. On the planet Zorith Prime, the Imperial High Council gathered. Holograms of the encounter flashed in the air. The alien leaders looked pale, tails twitching, claws clenching. The humans, said Supreme Commander Vrylox, they are stronger than anything we have ever faced. One ship, controlling 6 warships as if they were toys. Admiral Solrex, recently returned from the edge of the Vurex border, growled. It is not just strength. It is control, intelligence, discipline, and their weapons. Impossible. Our missiles, our beams, erased, gone. Like they never existed. A younger council member, Dralis, spoke nervously. Supreme Commander, perhaps they are peaceful? They did not destroy us. Vrylox's claws tightened. Do not mistake peace for weakness. They gave us one warning. One. And we nearly lost ships just by ignoring it. Imagine what they will do if provoked. Across the Empire, Scientists worked day and night. They tried to understand human technology, but every scan, every measurement, every theory failed. The materials used in Aegis's hull were unknown. Its engines defied known physics. Its shields could absorb or erase energy in ways alien science could not explain. One senior researcher admitted in private, voice trembling, "We are decades, maybe centuries behind them. This is not evolution we can match. This is something else." Meanwhile, Admiral Solrex called for a fleet inspection. He could not allow fear to spread. Vurex crews needed to feel strength. But when they drilled, when they ran simulations of the encounter, the results were the same. The humans had predicted every move, countered every attack, controlled every variable. No strategy worked. Captain Tyrax, returning from the border fleet, was summoned before the council. His eyes were dark with worry. "Supreme Commander, the humans, they are unlike any enemy we have faced. They do not fear. They do not retreat. And they can stop us without firing a single shot." The council members whispered among themselves. Some argued for peace. "We should contact them," Dralis suggested. "Learn what they want. Perhaps they will not attack if we respect them." Others argued for war. "Do not show weakness," growled Vrylox. "We cannot let a single species intimidate the Vurex Empire. Strike first. Strike hard. Show them that we are not to be trifled with." The debate lasted hours. No one had the answer. No one could predict what humanity would do next. And that, perhaps, was what scared the council most. Far from the Empire, in the silent black of space, Aegis drifted. Captain Rhea Morgan watched the reports of the Vurex discussions in real time. She had not sent a single weapon. She had only observed, controlled, and taught a lesson. Her crew knew the humans' reputation was spreading. Across the galaxy, the species called humans were being whispered about with awe and fear. Some called them heroes, others a threat, but everyone knew one thing: humans were not weak, and they were not to be underestimated. Morgan leaned back in her chair. "They are afraid," she said softly. "But fear is not enough. They need to learn respect and patience. Both can be dangerous lessons for those who ignore them." The human warship continued to monitor the Vurex Empire. Every fleet movement, every political debate, every fleet inspection was logged. Humans were patient. They were methodical. They did not strike without reason. But the galaxy now knew they could, if necessary. In secret, some Vurex scientists began arguing for diplomacy. "Perhaps we can learn from them," one said. "Perhaps there is technology, knowledge, even understanding we could gain." But the warhawks in the Empire argued louder. "They are a threat. A single species that can dominate us so easily cannot be trusted. Prepare for war. We must strike before they grow stronger." And so, across the galaxy the tension grew. Humans remained unseen, their true power a mystery, but every alien knew the truth. The Vurex Empire, with all its fleets, all its experience, all its pride, had met a species they could not understand and could not defeat. Every commander, every fleet, every soldier remembered the lesson of Aegis: humans were patient. Humans were powerful. Humans could teach a lesson without firing a single shot. And for the first time in centuries, the Vurex Empire realized they were not invincible. Somewhere, far from the edge of Empire space, the humans waited. Watching, learning, and preparing. The galaxy had felt the first tremor of humanity's arrival. But the real storm was yet to come. The tension in the Vurex Empire was reaching a breaking point. Commanders whispered in fear. Scientists pored over every scan of Aegis. And in the shadows, one rogue admiral, Admiral Krylox, made a dangerous decision. He did not wait for orders. He did not care about diplomacy or warnings. He had a single thought: destroy the humans before they grew stronger. Krylox gathered his fleet in secret at the edge of Vurex space. His ships were heavily armed with secret superweapons, experimental engines, and devastating missiles. He ignored the warnings of his subordinates. "The humans will not strike first," he said. "We strike first. We finish this." Captain Tyrax and Admiral Solrex had no knowledge of this plan. The rogue fleet slipped past the border sensors, moving silently toward the human warship. Meanwhile, Aegis drifted near the edge of known space. Captain Rhea Morgan had been monitoring the Vurex Empire carefully, but she sensed a disturbance. Something was approaching. Something dangerous. Krylox's fleet appeared suddenly on the scanners. Massive, heavily armed, ready to destroy. His warships had never felt fear, but even they seemed to hesitate as the human ship registered their approach. "Sir," said Lieutenant Kane, one of Aegis's tactical officers, "they are moving faster than expected. Multiple attack vectors detected. This is not authorized." Morgan's eyes narrowed. "Let them come. It is time they understand the cost of underestimating humanity." The first missiles were fired. They streaked toward Aegis like falling stars, bright and deadly. The human warship did not dodge. It did not shield. Instead, the missiles disappeared mid-flight. Not blocked. Not deflected. Erased. Gone. Admiral Krylox roared over the comms. "Stop this trickery. Fire everything. Do not let them escape." The human warship responded not with weapons, but with control. A silent wave of energy pulsed through space, touching every enemy vessel. Engines sputtered. Weapons jammed. Computers went dark. Every ship in Krylox's fleet froze as if caught in invisible hands. "Impressive," Morgan said quietly. "But not enough." One of Krylox's experimental weapons activated, a massive energy cannon designed to pierce any shield. It fired. The beam screamed through space toward Aegis. The aliens held their breath. And then, nothing. The beam vanished, erased as if it had never existed. Krylox could not believe it. His superweapon, the pride of the Vurex Empire, had failed instantly. "Impossible," he shouted. Morgan gave a single command: "Disable them." The human warship moved. Not to attack, but to teach. Within moments, every ship in Krylox's rogue fleet had its engines shut down. Weapons were neutralized. Guidance systems corrupted. The aliens could not move, could not fire, could not escape. Rogue Admiral Krylox screamed in frustration. "We are the Vurex Empire. How can one ship control us all?" Morgan's voice was calm. "We do not start wars. But we finish them." The words hung in space like a blade. Krylox realized the truth too late. Humans had not used their full power. They had only demonstrated control, precision, and patience. They could have destroyed him and his fleet in seconds, but they had chosen not to. Morgan activated a holographic display of Krylox's fleet. "You chose aggression over reason. You chose arrogance over caution. And now, you learn your mistake." Every ship was disabled. Not destroyed. Not broken beyond repair. Disabled. The crews were alive, watching, learning. The humans were teaching a lesson in respect, power, and control. The rogue admiral had no choice. He signaled surrender. His pride burned, but he understood that resistance was futile. Aegis released them after ensuring all weapons remained offline. "Return to your empire," Morgan said. "Tell them the truth. Tell them what happens when humans are provoked." The crippled fleet drifted away. The Empire would hear the story soon. Krylox would not survive the shame of failure, but the lesson had been taught. Captain Rhea Morgan leaned back in her chair, calm as ever. "Let them talk," she said to Lieutenant Kane. "Let the galaxy hear the truth. Humans do not fight unless necessary, but no one should ever doubt our power." The rogue admiral's attack had failed spectacularly. The humans had not needed to destroy a single ship to assert dominance. Every Vurex commander, every pilot, every soldier would remember this day. Across the galaxy, whispers of humanity's strength grew louder. Stories of a single warship capable of stopping an entire fleet would spread like fire. The Vurex Empire, and all other species, would soon realize that humans were not just another power. They were a force beyond imagination, a species that combined intelligence, courage, and control in ways no one could anticipate. And far from the edge of Empire space, the Aegis waited silently, watching, learning, ready for whatever came next. The galaxy had felt the first true power of humanity, and it would not forget. The Vurex Empire was trembling. After the disaster caused by Admiral Krylox, every commander, every fleet officer, every politician understood one thing. Humans were not a threat to be bargained with. They were a force beyond reckoning. The Empire could not ignore the humans any longer. Supreme Commander Vrylox ordered the entire border fleet to assemble, the largest force the Empire had ever sent to the edge of known space. Hundreds of warships, bristling with weapons, engines blazing, shields at maximum. They were ready to destroy Aegis once and for all. Captain Tyrax, reassigned to the border command, looked at the massive fleet with unease. "Sir, we have never faced such numbers before. Even the humans from Krylox's fleet, one ship, was enough to teach us a lesson. How can we fight hundreds?" Solrex gritted his claws. "We have orders. We cannot retreat. Show the humans our strength." Meanwhile, in the silence of space, Aegis drifted. Captain Rhea Morgan observed the approaching fleet. Her crew reported every movement, every formation, every potential threat. Humans did not panic. They prepared. But not for battle, not yet. "Lieutenant Kane," Morgan said calmly, "they want a war. Let's show them a lesson instead." As the Vurex fleet closed in, their weapons powered up, energy beams humming, missiles ready, Aegis remained still. The aliens expected an attack, but it never came. Instead, the massive warship activated its control systems, sending precise pulses across the battlefield. The first alien ship fired. Its beam disappeared mid-flight. The missile launched next vanished before even leaving the tube. Panic spread across the Vurex command. Hundreds of ships, all at full power, were suddenly neutralized without being destroyed. Tyrax whispered, "It's controlling them. All of them." Morgan did not fire a single weapon. She did not destroy a ship. Instead, she used strategy and precision. Engines failed. Weapons shut down. Guidance systems locked. Every ship in the fleet was disabled just enough to be harmless, but still intact. The aliens could move, but only slowly. They could breathe, but only under control. They could see but not attack. Aegis had turned the greatest fleet in the Empire into a lesson in restraint and power. Morgan's voice echoed across the comm systems. "We do not seek war. But we will defend our home. Any attack will be stopped immediately." Supreme Commander Vrylox felt his claws tremble. He had ordered the greatest attack in Empire history, and yet, the humans had disabled it without striking a single blow. Every advisor, every general, every fleet captain realized the truth. Humans did not need to destroy to demonstrate dominance. Some alien commanders whispered for peace. "Perhaps we should talk. Perhaps we should learn from them." Others wanted retaliation. "We cannot show weakness. Attack anyway." Morgan did not move. She observed. Every action, every movement of the Vurex fleet, every reaction, was logged. Humans were teaching the aliens themselves, showing them that restraint could be more powerful than aggression. The fleet commander closest to Aegis tried to retreat, hoping to regroup. Aegis released a pulse of energy, gently nudging his ship back into position. No one was harmed, but every alien felt the weight of human control. "Do you see now?" Morgan asked Kane quietly. "They must learn respect. Respect and patience. Both are dangerous lessons for those who ignore them." 4 hours, the Vurex Empire's border fleet floated under Aegis's observation. They were neither destroyed nor allowed to attack. Every pilot, every soldier, every officer experienced the overwhelming power and precision of humanity. Finally, Vrylox ordered a full retreat. The lesson was clear. The humans had won without firing a shot. The entire border fleet had learned that aggression against humans carried consequences they could not imagine. Across the Empire, reports of the encounter spread like fire. Scientists studied the logs. Pilots recounted what they had experienced. And every leader realized that humans were more than a simple species. They were a force of intelligence, strength, and restraint, capable of defeating fleets without destruction. Captain Rhea Morgan watched the Vurex retreat with quiet satisfaction. Humanity had proven a simple truth: peace and power could coexist. And those who sought conflict would pay the price. The galaxy was learning about humans. Some feared them. Some admired them. But all knew one fact: no one could underestimate humanity again. In the silence of space, Aegis drifted, calm and powerful, ready for whatever challenge might come next. The humans had demonstrated their strength, their strategy, and their restraint. The Vurex Empire, and the rest of the galaxy, would never forget this day. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, Captain Morgan knew this was only the beginning. The Vurex Empire had retreated, but the whispers of humanity spread faster than any fleet could fly. Across galaxies, alien species talked in fear and awe about a single human warship capable of stopping entire fleets without firing a single shot. Humanity's reputation was growing, and the galaxy was beginning to understand that this was not a species to be underestimated. Captain Rhea Morgan watched from the bridge of Aegis as reports of the Vurex Empire's reactions arrived in real time. She and her crew had observed, measured, and taught lessons, but had not attacked. Every encounter, every warning, every controlled demonstration had a purpose. Humans did not seek war. They sought understanding. And they demanded respect. Lieutenant Kane looked at Morgan. "Do you think they will ever come back?" Morgan shook her head slightly. "They may. Some will. But they will think twice before testing us again. Humanity's strength is not just in our weapons, it's in our control, our patience, and our ability to act decisively when needed." The Aegis glided silently through the blackness of space. Its sensors recorded every movement of alien fleets now retreating to their corners of the galaxy. Every action, every conversation, every fear. It was all data. Humanity would remember. Humanity would prepare. And humanity would protect its home. Across the Empire, Supreme Commander Vrylox convened a council. The alien leaders were pale, tails twitching nervously, claws gripping their consoles. The lesson was clear: humans were not simply strong, they were unpredictable, intelligent, and unstoppable when necessary. "Perhaps we underestimated them," Dralis whispered. "They showed restraint, yet we felt powerless. What can we do?" Vrylox slammed his claw on the console. "We must respect them. We cannot fight them. And we must not provoke them. Humanity is a force we cannot contain, or ignore." Even among the Warhawks, the truth was undeniable. Humans were more than a threat. They were a species capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. One lesson from Aegis had changed everything. Far from the Vurex Empire, Aegis moved toward uncharted space. Captain Morgan observed distant stars and potential signals. The galaxy was full of unknowns, but humans would explore them. Humanity would protect what was theirs and ensure peace wherever possible. But they would not be underestimated. Kane glanced at the sensors. "Sir, there's a signal coming from beyond the edge of explored space." Morgan's eyes narrowed. "Open a channel." The signal was faint, unrecognizable, but it carried one message: an unknown species had noticed humanity. Aegis's crew analyzed the transmission quickly. "It's a call for contact," Kane said. Morgan smiled faintly. "Then we answer it. Humanity does not hide. We explore. We protect. We meet the unknown without fear. And we do not strike unless necessary." The human warship jumped to hyperspace, faster than any alien fleet could follow. Across the galaxy, aliens watched in awe as humanity left the known space behind, strong, patient, and unstoppable. The story of Aegis spread through every star system. Humans were no longer just another species, they were a force, a symbol, a warning. Do not underestimate humanity. Respect it. Fear it. Learn from it. The Vurex Empire rebuilt its fleets, but the lesson remained. Every commander, every soldier, every leader remembered the day one human warship taught them restraint, control, and power. The humans had proven that they could defend themselves without destroying, protect without attacking, and dominate without cruelty. Captain Morgan looked at the stars and knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast. Unknown species awaited. Challenges would come. But humans were ready, stronger, wiser, and more united than any other species had ever been. And somewhere in the distance, a new signal appeared, another unknown species reaching out. Aegis responded, prepared to show the galaxy once again that humanity was here, humanity was powerful, and humanity was unstoppable. The humans had arrived. The galaxy had noticed. And from that day forward, every species would remember, humanity chooses peace, but never forgets strength. The warship moved on, silent and proud, a beacon of hope, power, and warning for the universe. Humanity was no longer a secret. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same.